All right. Our first card is the Eight of Cups. So going into September, Aries, a lot of energy may have to do with you leaving old behaviors, old emotional baggage, old friendships, connections, relationships, not necessarily the relationship themselves, but baggage that is associated with it that no longer serves you, and being able to finally walk away from some of that stuff. And a lot of it may even be with your own self, because the Judgment card is coming next. And the Judgment card is, you know, if everything was called to a halt today and someone had to judge your life, or you had to judge your own life, where would you ultimately fall? Unfortunately, a lot of us do that to ourselves all day long, and we're constantly making ridiculous judgments and carrying around shame and grief and regrets and all of these things, and we're constantly judging ourselves because of it. So how are we able to put that stuff down? How are we able to move past it? And there are some really good YouTube videos out regarding shame and how to deal with it and what it can do to your mental health. And my light just turned off. I guess we're still okay. My lights have been really weird lately, so I don't know. It may have a lot to do, like I said, with yourself or others, regardless. I was saying there's some really good videos out there. If that's something you deal with, if it's something you just haven't been able to move past, I would recommend looking into dealing with that, some of that stuff, looking for advice or an outlet that may help you put down some stuff that no longer serves you, because it's amazing how detrimental it is to our general well-being and health. So I just getting a really strong feeling that that's the case. If this is someone else that has done you wrong, sometimes getting into a place of understanding not to judge others, having a clear understanding of what that means, helps you put down some of this stuff as well. When we stop judging others, a lot of times we're not so emotionally attached to our hurt feelings from them, kind of thing. It's like, okay, what is this person's true intent? Are they an evil, awful, horrid human being? Or were they someone going through a hard time? And we have the Ten of Wands. So definitely I see for this month, it's probably going to be a huge focus to put down the stuff that doesn't serve you. Literally get it off your back. This guy is carrying around a big, ugly roach. Why? Why are you doing that to yourself? And it may just be getting to the end of a cycle of having to put in a lot of work on a project, a completion of some tasks that have been very demanding of your time and your energy and your focus. So if this is judging yourself and you're able to put down some of this emotional stuff and get past some of these regrets or shameful moments in your life or hurtful moments, it's not just about the things you've done wrong, but more likely than that, that's where most of us really do our self-harm. It's not in someone else hurt us, so we just feel bad. It's when we continually hurt ourselves or feel like we're hurting ourselves or hold ourselves accountable for something that happened 20 years ago. And it's still, if you think about it, takes your breath away and you feel so much guilt, regret, shame, what have you, embarrassment over that situation. And that may, if you're the kind of person that is behaving that way or letting that kind of stuff have a lot of hold on you, you're more likely than not also a people pleaser, because you want people to see the best out of you. You want people to think that you're willing to do work to make them like you and to have a good relationship. So you may be a type where you're saying yes to too many things, taking on work that isn't yours, taking on doing a little bit too much as far as helping your friends or volunteering in the community or whatever. If you're taking that to a little extreme where you're taking on a bunch of a bunch of projects that you didn't necessarily need to be involved in, or at least not to the level you are, or it could just be getting too obsessive over the projects you are working on, and you're just carrying a lot more weight around regarding it than you really need to. However this is playing in your life, these three cards coming out together are just telling me that you have been carrying around a lot of stuff emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever. And you're kind of, I just feel like you've been putting yourself through the ringer. And once in a while, we need to call ourselves on our own crap, right? Like, you need to be like, okay, I need to get it together. I'm a mess. But there comes a point when I see people literally abuse themselves. If somebody else was talking to them the way they talk to themselves, it would be abuse. So why is it okay to abuse yourself? There comes a point where we just have to find acceptance in who we are, who we've been, and make a conscious choice to be better every day. Say, yes, that was horrible. I did something stupid. I did something embarrassing. I did something hurtful, whatever. But I have learned from it, and I am making the choice not to have that behavior again, to be better than that, to take a higher road, to, just be a better human being. And we have the 8 of coin. I see this as putting in a lot of work as well. So far we've had 8s, 10s, and 20. I mean, these are all big numbers in scale. This is sometimes monotony, like doing something over and over and over again, and doing the work and doing the work. And I'm showing up and I'm doing this every single day, even if it's awful or even if I don't want to do it anymore, but I need to do the work to get to where I want to be. So 8, and scale from 1 to 10, you think about when you're ending a project, again, it's that due diligence of keeping things going. I'm really getting close. I just have to stick it out a little bit longer, and this will be to completion. So whether this is in your physical world, wherever, this kind of energy is just a reminder that to get good at things, we have to keep doing them. Practice makes perfect is said for a reason, even though, there really isn't perfect. You can find a million memes, whatever, about doing things X amount of times before you're a master at them or whatever. To me, I think this is just a reminder that if you're really trying to make something work, you just have to keep working at it. You can't just be like, okay, I did it a couple times, or I started the ball rolling, it's just going to do it on its own. No, if you want to take control and be in a really good place in your career, or, be at the top of your field, or be recognized for what you're doing, or make more money, since this is a coin card, turn it into more physical world things, like you have to keep doing it so you can stay relevant in that space. I have to keep it going and keep learning and keep progressing. And that may be a challenge right now. If you're feeling a lot of this energy and you're beating yourself up, maybe you're not putting in the work. Or maybe you are, and that's why you're able to put stuff down that doesn't serve you any longer. And we have the Ace of Wands and the King. The aces, especially the wand, being a fire card. This is like a spark. I see it literally as a spark starting a flame, right? It's a potential of energy that can grow into something larger. So a seed planted into the ground, a spark starting a fire, those are the images or the what makes sense in my head regarding this card. And then the king. And so these three coming out together was my plan to like group them a little bit. The king energy is very steadfast, has a very mature understanding of his physical space. He understands money and how it works. He understands his body and how it works. He understands how to make his physical space work for him and to be comfortable for him and for him to have some sense of control over that space. So I see this as you putting in the due diligence with this kind of new thing that can take you here. Again, going back to this card, I guess I didn't even really need to pull these other two. But you got to do the work to make it work, to be this person, and physically getting your hands dirty and doing what you have to do, getting inspired by it again, getting inspired to keep every day doing this regardless of the monotony. And I'm going to show up and I'm going to show out. I'm going to do, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do my best to be the best I can be in whatever it is that I do. And that way I can get to this place of feeling secure in it, feeling like I have some sense of control over how this situation goes and how this benefits me, and feeling in a place like the kings and queens. I always see them as a word that comes to mind always is comfortable. There's a sense of comfort in that space of being like at the top of the social ladder, if you will. And that's not necessarily what it falls into, but it may be, because, you know, the better you get at whatever your trade or your craft is, and the more inspired you are to keep it going and to show up and do the work, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to sit in this position. And because you've done the work, you've created this, you've put in the time, you've put in the energy, you've put in the effort, and you've worked yourself to a place where you feel very comfortable in control and have a very mindful sense of what's happening here. These are earth energies. The coins are earth energies, so very grounded, common sensical, kind of just this understanding of how this works, and that I can be comfortable in my space if I choose to create that space of comfort for me. So let's pull some more cards. And then we have the sunshine coming out. It's the sun card. This card always makes me happy. This card makes me think of joy, pure joy, real joy, childhood joy. Just in a place of feeling really good about the place you're in, and it's a bright sunshiny day, right? This card in other decks is depicted by like a little naked baby riding a horse under the sunshine, and he looks so stinking happy, you know, like that's an extremely positive card to come out. And I feel like that card just has like this wholeness about it. This, and it may be going back to doing something that you did when you were young, or doing, I'm gonna have the Ten of Wands. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Because the sun card is extremely positive card, and then we're followed by the Ten of Wands and the Five or the Ten of Swords and the Five of Wands. And this is definitely completion, coming to an end card. And this is a card of conflict, or some people call it a card of practice. I tend to be on the side of practice. And in my head, like these people fighting here, like I see MMA fighters or any martial arts fighters, you know, you can stand in the middle of a ring and kick and punch and move and roll and have this general understanding, but you cannot be good at that sport if your practice doesn't involve getting the crap kicked out of you and putting your hands on other people. That's just the way it is. Because you need that body contact. You need to understand how someone else's body moves and how your move can move with it, and all of these things to really the sport to be inclusive into your brain and how it works and to be effective at it. So I tend to think of it more that way than a conflict, but it looks like, to me, these three cards together are coming out like, okay, happy sunshiny day, but there's a whole lot of this. There's something, and it may tie back because there's a 10 here. It may tie back to coming to an end with some of this stuff, and you're like, I feel great. I put down that big freaking ugly ass roach, and I'm moving on, and I'm feeling really inspired in my workspace. I feel really good, but this completion here, something's coming to an end that's gonna create this conflict. But I would suggest that any conflict, especially one that's following, okay, this is a completion, like we're done with this. This is not going to carry on anymore. When we hit that kind of energy, and if it's not everyone involved is like, yeah, I'm okay with it being done, that creates this kind of energy, and there may be kind of a sparring match that happens. My suggestion is to maintain your space of feeling good, and understand, try to take the high road and approach this as a way to learn, a way to understand more about the human condition and how we deal with emotional stuff and all of that, and try to work through whatever that is in the most positive way. And the Sun card coming out makes me think that you really will be able to. And as long as you keep in mind, not everything is for you. Some things need to be left alone. Some things are not yours to carry around. If this is not your drama and somebody else is bringing this into your life, it ain't yours. Put it down. I say that so much when those cards come out, but it's so important to stress. So many people get caught up in other people's crap and drama, and oh Lord. And if it doesn't pertain to you, if it's not affecting your life, if it's not really, it's not yours to worry about, and you have to be okay saying that and admitting that. All right, I'm going to drop everything. All right, Joe. Let me take it. I almost fought. And we have the Seven of Swords. This card is a lot of times referred to as the thief. It looks like he's sneaking away with things that don't belong to him. So I'm trying to find a place to shuffle where I'm not covering up the card. Whether this is you or someone else, it's a very self-serving card. If this is applying to you, it may not be, I'm not a thief, I'm not a cheater, I'm not a whatever, but are you You know, are you completely honest about how you spend all your time and your energy? Are you giving little white lies to people, saying you're one place when you're not really? Yeah, I'm on my way when you haven't left your house yet. That's stealing someone else's time or being dishonest with them. I don't know. It's like I see somebody sneaking something out of the work fridge, or it could be something so minute and ridiculous, but a lot of times we have to be kind of called on that behavior and reminded, like, you know what, someone else, this is a self-serving behavior, and just because I'm not hurting someone else, the behavior hurts me because it's extremely self-serving. Now, I understand that sometimes we get in positions where we have to serve ourselves. We have, for survival reasons, we have to get in this very selfish or self-serving kind of frame of mind and being to ensure that we are okay. But for the most part, if you're in that situation, I'm sorry, and I probably don't have anything to say that's going to help you much. Just be well and take care of yourself. But if you are not in that kind of situation, then you need to call yourself again on your own stuff and say, you know, is this right? And we are followed by the Ace of Swords. So we have two aces here. Again, this, with its swords, this could be like an aha moment, a very like punch in the head, like, yeah, that makes sense. That's, using your logic or your, it's just a very quick wit kind of card. Something is gonna, comes to you, or that kind of thing. It could be, you know, that $1 million idea that flashes through your head that most of us don't do anything with, and we don't turn it into potential. But so here, you know, you may be having to get, you know, I don't say, I hate to tell you to be self-serving, but it's possible that, you know, whatever this brand new idea is, you're like, that may cause me to make a questionable decision or that kind of thing, because I'd really like to do something with this. Or it could be, you know, this energy coming into your life from someone else or whatever gives you this idea like, aha, I know what to do now. And our last card is the Page of Cups. And this is kind of a young, youthful, cups are emotional stuff, connections. So I always see this guy as like the life of the party, not in a outrageous kind of way, but in the way who's willing to make connections with people, who's willing to have genuine conversations with people and is out there interacting. He may be a little shy or a little emotionally immature, but the intention is there that, you know, this is, I want to get to know you and I want to connect with people and I don't know what I'm doing and I might be kind of like fish out of water. I don't know. That just came to mind, and I've got a little fish jumping out of his cup. But, you know, kind of a go with the flow, easygoing energy. So, and if this is pertaining to your romantic life, if you're in this energy, that makes sense why you're being a little self-serving. If you're not necessarily like committing to one person, or you're like stringing along a couple, or you're just not getting like real straightforward about your intentions with the relationship and what the relationship really like is to you. If you're in this energy, it might be something that's like, you don't want rules, you don't want any kind of like real commitment or something. So the other you may be, you know, misleading or mishandling someone else's emotions, or this could be someone that is the person that you're hurting or is hurting you. The Page of Cups would be a water sign. So, you know, I'm not really a fortune teller. I'm just here to talk about the cards and the energies and how they may be playing in your life. And it's up to you to tell the story in your own head. So whatever, as soon as I said this card, and this is a Thief card, who did you think of? So that's how I kind of go, is what was your initial reaction to this? And that's what you should probably pay attention to. So However this energy is playing in your life, I would take it as be mindful of how you're emotionally connecting with people. And if you're abusing, are you stealing their time? Are you stealing their energy? Are you stealing, just, or just not being completely honest with them? Or is there somebody doing that to you? Because I believe with the Ace of Swords coming out in the middle, that someone's going to find out the truth.